Look, Mom, I'm a moto vlogger. Oh, I got an itch. Oh, God. Oh, God. Anyways, today's video I wanted to talk about the Kawasaki Vulcan that I've owned for, I don't know, 2-3 years, whatever the heck it's been. And I've got multiple questions on my last video when I did kind of this bike reveal. People asking whether or not I still have my Vulcan. Short answer is no, I don't have it anymore. I used it for trade bait on this bike. Now I know some of you are probably going to be kind of ticked off of me and maybe even unsubscribe from my channel because you might have come to my channel for, you know, to watch me ride around on my Vulcan S, but I guess I should have left this part in my other video when I was talking about this. It was edited out for, you know, time constraints and things, but I did touch on the subject of me trading it in on this bike. Man, they need to fix this road. It is bumpy as hell. But anyways, yeah, I did trade it in. And I have several reasons for doing it, but first of all, don't get me wrong, that's a fantastic bike, that Vulcan S, and I really enjoyed it for the time for the time that I owned it. But I didn't have anything like majorly wrong with it that made me hate the bike. There was just things about it that well, just to be honest, you know, like when you get to thinking about a new motorcycle, you're gonna think of all kinds of reasons to trade in the one that you have, because you kind of obsess over the new bike that you want. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys out there have done the same thing. Why is that cloud? Get out of the way. Yeah, after I did the test ride on that other Harley Street Bob, I just, you know, let's not beat a dead horse, y'all know I liked it, so I bought this one. And despite what some of the people in the comment section of my last video might think, no, I don't hate Harley Davidson, no, I don't hate this bike, no, it wasn't a huge pain in the ass for me to set it up the way I like. The kind of the point of that last video was just me talking about two exactly same bikes, the same make and model, year and everything, and just how different that they could be just depending on how you set them up. When I test rode that bike, I was thinking of all kinds of reasons why I would trade the Vulcan in on it, and it just came right down to it. Basically, I like this Harley more. There's no big secret to it, no big huge reasons behind it. Now there are a couple of things that I didn't exactly like about that Vulcan. They weren't deal breakers by any means, but so I'll just kind of go over a few things that I just didn't really like about it. First of all, those bikes are not very easy to personalize and make them your own. The aftermarket support for that motorcycle is almost non-existent. You can do things like add saddlebags to it and a windscreen to it, maybe change out the mirrors. That's a pretty simple thing to do, but other than that, I mean, there's maybe 1 or 2 companies that has a tail tidy kit for it. Let's see, the exhaust, aftermarket exhaust on those bikes are ridiculously expensive. We're talking $800 or $900. So that was kind of irritating about that bike, and made me question whether or not I even wanted to put any more money into that bike, you know, kind of making it my own and personalizing it and stuff like that, because, you know, I could probably, you know, dump a couple $1,000s more into that bike, and, you know, 4 or 5 years from now, I'm just going to have a $3,000 bike. It's not going to be worth anything more than that. So being able to personalize, or lack of being able to personalize that Vulcan, was one of the things that I kind of struggled with, you know, all the time that I owned it, because, you know, no matter what the heck I did to it, it's still going to look like just like a regular Kawasaki Vulcan S. Not ugly bikes at all. I'm not saying that either. Good looking bikes, except for the funky plum looking headlight thing. So I wanted a bike, to be honest with you, I wanted something that I could put my wife on the back, and it's going to be good for taking short highway trips on. And the flexibility of the Harley Davidson, pretty much any chassis that they've put out, the Softail platform, their cruiser line, the Dyna line before this, and whatever the heck else their other chassis have been. They're almost like a blank slate, and you can pretty much do anything you want to with them. I mean, you can turn them into touring bikes, you can turn them into bobbers, choppers, just pretty much anything. And the thought of being able to do that with a bike just really appealed to me. But another thing that really kind of bothered me about it was when I had bought that bike, I was expecting to get cruiser-like performance, meaning that I could just kind of lope around and take it easy and stuff like that, and it's just going to be a really chill ride. Well, what bothered me about that is that that Vulcan is basically, it's a Ninja 650 with different rider ergonomics. I mean, it handles like a sport bike, which isn't a bad thing, I mean, if that's what you're looking for. I mean, that thing cornered awesome, it accelerated awesome, it braked awesome, it did everything awesome. It was a real performing bike. But the trouble is that that bike hated anything under 4,000 RPMs past second gear. So you couldn't cruise around in fourth gear at like 30 miles an hour without the engine lugging. It just seemed like when I'm riding around town that engine just wanted to scream. And it kind of reminded me of my little Ninja 300, which is a higher revving engine, and it just made a lot of noise and made a big old racket about everything and stuff like that. And I just wanted something that was a little bit more laid back and chill, which Harley Davidsons are well known for, just being some chill motorcycles where you can just kind of lup, just cruise around and low RPMs and just take it easy. Another thing is, how much of the bike was going to be worth in 5, 10, 15 years. 5, 10, 15 years, you might be able to pick those Vulcans up for, just $1,500 or a couple grand or something like that. But if I was going to put some money into a bike, I wanted to put money into something that I knew was at least going to hold some value. And I'm not under any impression whatsoever that, 5 or 10 years from now that this $15,000 Street Bob is going to be worth anything near $15,000. It's probably not. But in the grand scheme of things, this bike will be worth more than what that Vulcan will be. Another reason why I decided to trade that Vulcan in on this bike is because it's the whole look back factor. And do you think about your bike when you're not riding your bike, when you're sitting on the couch watching TV? Do you think about wanting to ride your bike and things? And at first when I bought that Vulcan, it was something that I really looked forward to riding and getting out there and doing cool stuff and going places on. But after, probably 2 or 3 months, probably past that first season that I owned that bike, it just it just didn't feel like it had any connection to me. One good memory I'll always have of owning that bike is the second day that I owned it. I told the story in one of my other videos about riding it, taking it on a short road trip up north of here. And on the way back, it just started gushing rain. It was pouring rain, and there I am riding my brand new motorcycle back through a downpour. Just phenomenal, just incredible downpour. But so I'll always have that memory of that bike, and it was my first cruiser motorcycle, and I enjoyed it. But getting back to the thinking about it all the time, to me it just became just a bike in the garage. It didn't have no flash to it, no bling. What little amount of just accented touches on it and things like that, it just wasn't doing anything for me. So I'm the type of person that when I lose interest in something, I just get rid of it. I move on to something else, which is exactly what I did with that Vulcan. Would I ever own another one? Probably. They're fun bikes. They're great bikes. Everybody that has ever reviewed that motorcycle has said how good a bike it is, and I'm in that camp right alongside them. It does what it does, and it does it very well. I'll probably never have anything that is negative to say about that bike. Period. It gets good gas mileage. The gauge cluster is cool to look at. It's a good looking bike, but just know when you're buying a Kawasaki Vulcan S that it will always be a Vulcan S. Whereas my choice to buy a Harley Davidson, I can make this bike anything I want it to be. And, well, you know, a lot of you guys probably like to play with Legos when you were a kid, just like me. And you like to build things. So I like to build things myself. I like to work on things. My little Z125, when I bought that, it didn't take long at all before I just completely tore that bike apart and customized it. You know, I was even going to put a new paint job on it and stuff, but I just couldn't quite bring myself to paint over that beautiful Kawasaki green, which is a really nice color. But so there it is, guys. I don't have my Vulcan S anymore. I don't regret trading it. No, I mean, I can't blame some of you guys probably just watch my channel just to watch me riding my Vulcan around. Although I've always tried to split my videos up amongst all my bikes, except for my little green one, because I customized it to make it cool, and after a while of riding it, it was just really kind of uncomfortable. This Harley Davidson right here, if anybody got the impression from my other video that I have a lot of problems with this, and I had a problem with the dealership not setting it up for me. Don't think that I have a problem with Harley Davidson or the dealership or the fact that I had to do all this tweaking myself to make this bike fit me. That's a good thing about Harley Davidsons. You can change everything on them. Hand control angles, the grips, the bars, the rise, the fullback, I mean the foot controls, the everything, the seat, the everything, the suspension, you can change everything. So I knew what I was getting into when I bought this bike, because that was the intention, to be able to have a bike that I can just make my own and do whatever the heck I want to with it. No, I don't have anything bad to say about the dealership. Owens Harley Davidson here in Yakima is phenomenal guys down there. They're really cool. I had no problem dealing with them. Keith, the guy that I bought this bike from, he's an awesome dude. I didn't even ask him to set up this bike for me. So, you know, maybe he would have, I'm sure he probably would have, you know, set it up for me. But I've been turning wrenches since I was 6 years old on old muscle cars, and I'm not afraid of it. So, I'm actually that kind of guy. It's like, you know, if I want somebody to work on a car, I'd probably rather do it myself. Anyways, guys, I know this video is probably long, again, just like all of them are. I figured I'd at least make a video and kind of explain to you guys my reason why I got rid of that Vulcan. And I'm sure I'm probably forgetting a couple of things, but, you know, here it is. There's this video. It's Monday, it's after work, and I usually never record videos during the week, but I felt like getting out here and putting some miles on this bad boy, and I figured I'd just record a video. And because I like making videos, I honestly do. It's weird because once you start doing this stuff and you get people like a following and stuff, and people are actively, or they're active on your channel, commenting and watching your videos and stuff like that, it kind of, it's a good feeling. So I want to say, you know, I appreciate everybody that watches my videos and comments and all the subscribers and stuff like that. Y'all have just been awesome.